How's it going, everybody? Level M Diecast, breaking up some ridiculous amount of Matchbox we've had on the channel lately. We're going to take a look at some Majorette. This is from my trade box, from my trade from Down Under. This is going to be all the stuff that doesn't really fit in its own video, but just stuff that we want to crack open. Of course, this white Taken Turbo S for Valiant for the Porsche edition. See, there's two on the back. We did get the green one here in the US. We did not get the white one, so luckily I have a trade to get this one. So I'll just crack this guy out, hopefully. Oh, so many pieces to a Majorette. Just so many pieces. There is our Valiant. This guy in white looks pretty good. Does have two opening features, has opening doors, and of course an opening hood. Does have suspension, although not a whole lot of travel on the Taken. Does have two-piece wheels. Those are rubber tires. So they have a plastic wheel that looks exactly like their Real Rider tire, which is kind of an interesting look to it. There is the deets on the back. Very thin taillight strip. Of course, it says Porsche, Valiant on it. The bonnet part in the front does open up, but there's no nothing in there. A little bit of cargo space and whatnot. And then, of course, the doors open. A little bit of detail on the inside of the doors, but not much. Looks pretty cool. There is the base deets. This direction here. Does come with a box. This particular one will fit in the box, but the box is really rudimentary. It's not really meant for anything like real money-wise or nothing like that. So we'll throw that guy out there. All right, another premium one. This one is a few years old. This is when Tune-Ups was first kicking off for 2021. See, this was bought from TK Maxx. This is exact same chain as TJ Maxx here in the U.S. Discount retailer. They have them all over the world. So, man, the thickest blisters ever made. Thickest cardboard ever made. Like, the packaging for Majorette is so unbelievably ridiculous. So we'll pull this guy out. He does come with another rudimentary box. Really nothing fancy with it. There was original Series 1 tune-ups in stores in 2021, it says. This is the food truck version of the Volkswagen. You see the rear panel here is not... I don't know if I can fix this. See, the panel is in the wrong spot. I don't know if I can fix that or not. Oh, man. There we go. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit the camera. But we got it fixed. There is the interior to it. A little bit of a food service area. Looks like a prep area. There's a stove in the back. The kitchen sink on this side. Very, very difficult to get some light in there. Tune your car, it says. There's two pieces here that rolls up. Majorette tune-ups. And then the top just closes right in. Looks very, very good. It is all matte paint. It looks very, very nice. No opening on the back or anything like that. It does have suspension, of course. Rubber tires. Very, very orange window. Very amber looking. Very good. It's relatively bright. It's kind of dark on the camera, but it's relatively bright. I see quite a bit of orange through there. It looks cool. And of course, it says 7 surprises. Nothing other fancy than that. Just a Volkswagen. Just an average Volkswagen. All right, we're going to get into some street cars. This is the Isuzu D-Max. This was a new casting last year. There was a D-Max series. We did cover that series. I'll probably link that video at the end, probably. So this is the newest one in a kind of a candy red. It's just a really high gloss red. It's not metallic or anything like that. This is a pretty good casting, of course, right-hand drive. Full prints in the front, which is basically just the grille because the headlights are lensed as normal, which looks pretty good. Definitely like the details on this one. The taillights are not painted up, which is kind of interesting. But it does say Isuzu D-Max there on the back. It does have a tow hitch. One of their many, many, many new wheels that they have come out with. That one looks really good for the truck. And then there is the base deets. So not anything that's sold in the U.S. By far, but a lot of suspension. I love the suspension. Suspension's always good. All right, next one up. This is the Hyundai i30. I believe that's what this is the i30. This is the second of 3 decos, I think, that are currently out. There's the in blue. Now there's this one in white. And then, of course, there's the safety vehicle. So this one looks pretty good in white. There is your in logo on the front. It says Hyundai. Like these wheels, too. Look pretty good. Details in the back. There is the logo printed up in silver. Kind of difficult to see that. Flip around the Ds here. There you go. Hyundai i30 in. Suspension. Some of the street cars sometimes don't have suspension, but it just depends. Like this one, this guy's not going to have suspension. This is the Toyota Hiace. The cargo passenger version in a emerald green. This is a new color for 2022, I think. This one looks pretty good. Of course, lensed headlights as always. Simple prints on the front with the grille and the Toyota logo. Little prints on the side for the window outlines and stuff. Looks pretty good. Prints for the back. This say Hiace. Looks pretty good. It is a hook assembly model, so there's only one rivet spot, which is always good. I always get the base backwards on these because they are different. There is a suspension thing in there, but there's no travel. There's nowhere really for the wheels to travel. It's kind of one-sided, but it still looks pretty good. It rides enough. I guess it's got some suspension. Nice sizing there. All right, moving on to another Hiace. This is, of course, the Australian edition of the SOS cars. That is the emergency logo for Australia. Since, of course, I got these from a friend in Australia. He did get me the whole set. So there's the Hiace, the Civic, and then there is a, it's either the, I don't know, we'll look at it. It's either the Hilux or the Amarok. It's one of the 2 trucks. We'll take a look at it. This looks fantastic. This is the panel side version of the Hiace. The prints look pretty good. It does have the same wheels. I love the chevrons on the back. Looks very, very good. It says ambulance on there. Just super, super cool. Definitely like this one. Looks like the front tire doesn't want to roll that much. There we go. Just kind of pop them out. There we go. It is what it is. It says ambulance on the front as well. I really like this one because the light bar. Look at these light bars. So they are painted up. Blue and red. They're ultra thin LED bars. I have not seen this bar before, so I'm not sure how new this light bar is. But it's fantastic, and it looks really, really good. Looks really, really good. Definitely like that one for sure. So we'll put that next to the other Hiace. As I mentioned, I did have the Civic as well. This one is done up for the police, standard police, the Type R. Now, I will tell you that I have been roasted in the comments before because there is a little flap in the back here. Technically, you're supposed to open them with that, but I don't find that it works all that well. So, besides, we just like to open stuff here on the channel. All right, so here is our Type R. There is your logo there. It does have the NSW police logo on there. I'm not sure what NSW is. It's the part of Australia, the country or the state, something like that. So I do apologize. So there is the basic 6-spoke wheel. They do have a Row Rider version of that one as well. This one looks pretty good. I do like the Civic Type R. Interesting that this is left-hand drive, but that is cool. We'll take that one for sure. It does have the nice light bar on there. And then, of course, this guy does have an opening hatch. So hatch is very stiff. There is your opening hatch. There's no cargo or nothing in there, but it looks super cool. Another hook assembly model. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Now, one of the things that I always rag on Majorette about is that we don't get them in the U.S. and maybe the hook assembly models will be a problem because, you know, Matchbox and Hot Wheels don't really do that. All right, Toyota Hilux Revo. This is the last one in the mix. This one does have the topper on the back. This is the first one I've gotten with the topper. I'm fairly certain the topper is removable, but we'll take a look. Just says rescue on the side. This is a very, very nice casting. Really, really good casting. It does not have any opening features or anything like that. So light bar looks good. This one is also left-hand drive. Very interesting. Kind of the older, kind of uglier Majorette wheel, but it looks really good on this particular one. Does have a tow hitch on the back as well. There is your logo, Hilux Revo there on the quarter panel. And I'm pretty sure, there we go, boom, that comes off super easy. Sorry about that, get that to focus. Very, very interesting. Comes off way easier than I thought. A little bit of print on there just for the side window. No print on the back of it though, unfortunately. And then of course, suspension as always, because yes. So let's see, we'll make some room for our Australia guy there. All right, we do have some premium cars and some other stuff we'll take a look at. Dodge Charger RT, a little bit of American flavor. This was a new casting last year. There has been a couple of versions released so far. I did not have this basic one in black. So very excited to get this one. The premium ones do come with a little kind of trading card. I don't keep these things, but they are kind of cool for collectors. There are some deets on the back of it. So all kinds of deets in non-American units. So you have your engine size in centimeters, your power in PSs, your kilometers an hour. Kind of an interesting little flavor. But of course, this was not made for the U.S. market because we don't get Majorette in the U.S., despite what their social media will tell you. There is the Dodge Charger. This is actually a very, very good casting. This one is very interesting. If you look inside, there is a roll cage, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't look all that good through the door window right here because there's like a blotch there. But there is a roll cage in there. It's an actual racing version interior. It's impossible to see in there. There's just not enough light to get in there. Let's see if I can maybe get a little bit of light in there. I do apologize. I tend to not want to move the lights when I do videos, but I do try to get the lighting in there, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out for us at all. I do apologize. But there is our Charger, and then of course it does have opening hood. Again, very, very difficult to get light in there because they just don't open all that far. But it looks pretty cool. There is the deets on the back, or the bottom, I should say. Big, gigantic wheels on the back, smaller ones on the front. But the two styles match. And then, of course, print on the back. No print on the front other than just the Charger logo there in the corner. There you go. Kind of difficult to see that. Kind of weird. I do apologize. I try not to move the camera because then I get all discombobulated. Or the lighting, I should say. All right, moving on to another premium. This is the Volvo V90 wagon in red. This is a new color for last year. Yes, we're not going to really have anything stupid current because it takes a very long time to assemble one of these trade boxes. But there is our Volvo. There it is. In the back says Volvo V90. Again, another hook assembly model. This one does have opening doors. Super, super stiff. Again, a little bit of detail on the inside of the doors, but not a whole lot. It does have suspension on the older style wheels. Lens headlights as always. Very, very nice prints on the grille. Window is nice and clear. Left-hand drive. There is the deets. So that one is pretty cool. Majorettes are a little bit bigger scale too. I've really noticed. They're kind of getting bigger and bigger these days. All right, we got a few racing cars before we get to the last couple of bonker ones. This one is the Porsche 934. This is the newest version in the racing cars segments, although there will be several new versions for this in the new Porsche edition lines and stuff coming up. Says Burton Kramer on the hood, Burton of London on the actual hood itself, or I'm sorry, on the window, and then of course on the hood. Does have this really, really nice wheel. I really like this wheel. It's one of the best wheels they make. Kind of a simulated driver in there. This is definitely based off a real deco. It looks pretty good. It says a Porsche in the back. Like those details as well. Super tinted window. Base deets. It looks pretty good. Always happy to have even more Porsches. And yes, even this guy has lensed headlights. Those are part of the interior window, because of course they are. Put him right there. All right, speaking of Hyundai i30N, there is the next color there. So as far as I know, I do have every color available. There is a playset coming out. It is the Hyundai Driving Center. It's pretty much exactly the Porsche Experience Center, just for Hyundai. Majorette Korea teased that one the other day. Looks like a pretty cool, fun set, but it doesn't look like there's anything exclusive in it. There is the in safety car in the blue color. Print along the windshield looks pretty good. Definitely like that one. Looks pretty good. Red wheel in the front and then black one in the back to kind of match the deco here. That looks pretty cool as well. A little bit of print on the back as well. So not too shabby. Again, from the racing car line, which is essentially the same thing as the premium line. Just a little bit lower price point sometimes. All right, next one up. This is the Nissan Skyline 831. There's been a bunch of different versions of this, but basically the same deco. It's seen a ton of different wheels. Been in premium as well, and now this one a little bit more basic flavor. Does have yet another new wheel. That is the spiral wheel, the 5-spoke spiral. It's a very, very nice wheel. Looks very, very good. I definitely like that wheel a lot. This one has full tampos everywhere, literally everywhere on it, every spot. This is part of the Majorette sponsored drift car. This one looks pretty good though. Definitely like this one. Does have an opening hood, which is just a gigantic hood. So we'll get this, hopefully, oof. It's about as far as it wants to open, but it does open. I don't know why it's so stiff to get things open these days. It closes pretty flush, but of course, suspension as well. Prints on the front. Headlights look pretty good as well. Swear I'm going to get one of those right. Swear I'm going to get one of those right. Every time I go to look at the base, it's always the wrong direction. All right, we got a couple of heavy hitter premiums. Now, I did crack open all of limited edition series number 6 or 8. 8. But I was missing this one, and my buddy tried very, very, very hard to find one. Finally did find one, and I'm pretty sure it's because the blister is absolutely destroyed. It's even actually already separated. But that's perfectly fine because I don't really care because we're going to open it anyways. So I'm on a quest to, get all of these GTRs, and if it wasn't for Jackson, I'd be in big trouble. So there is our latest GTR Nismo GT3. That's what this casting is. Looks very, very good. I like the gold 6 spokes on there. Of course, as you saw, does have opening doors. They open pretty well, relatively wide. There is a roll bar and all kinds of stuff. And there it is, full racing interior. Plastic wing on the back. The prints on the back look pretty good. It's relatively flat. That's the only thing I didn't like about this casting. There's not a whole lot of detail in the actual casting, which is kind of a bummer. But the rest of this looks pretty good. Grill looks really good. Print looks really, really good on the grill. Still lensed headlights, and of course suspension, although suspension is very, very low key. Very low key. All right, moving on to this guy. This is a Ultra Chase. Yes, even Majorette has Ultra Chases now. You can thank ridiculous Hot Wheels for that. This is the gold edition for 2020. There were several gold ones. They were, basically super treasure hunts is basically what they were. So this is a very, very surprising addition from him. I know that these things are not impossible to get, but they're definitely not common. This one is just insane. I mean, the reflection is just ridiculous. They did a really, really good job on it, though. A really, really good job. Lens headlights, again. Corvette logo on there. Of course, this guy does have opening doors, as you saw. A little bit of detail on the inside of the doors, but not much. Kind of difficult to see that. But the casting looks pretty good. This is just the Corvette. This is the C7, which is a pretty good casting. It does have suspension in the front, but the back one just doesn't want to move. And then there is the base deets. Oops, sorry about that. It looks pretty cool. Just super happy to get a chase piece, which I think is just super cool. All right, the very last item that we have is a heavy hitter. Check that out. Yes, Majorette is now doing some trailers. And of course, I got the heaviest hitting one. More than likely, it is the Mack Granite and Nissan GTR Nismo GT3. The cool thing about this pack is the Mack Granite. That is a brand spanking new casting. And that is going to be quite frequently used in 2023. There is no deets on the back of this in case you guys were saying, well, I wonder what other models there are. Obviously, you can tell from the card here, there is a Porsche trailer with another Taycan in there. And then, of course, there is a Jaguar. I think it's the F-Type being pulled by the Land Rover, which is pretty good mix. So I know that they show the 934 here, but that is not the one that's in the pack. So kind of interesting to check this out, see how the trailer works and whatnot. There's been quite a few reviews of this. This is not super new, but it's going to be new for the people in the U.S., I think, because I highly doubt we'll ever see anything like this from Majorette, ever, pretty much ever. So we'll get all this stuff out of there. All right, so this is the last GT3 Nismo I think I need. I think I now have all of them, I think. At least as of right now. So this is a re-release of one that they released. I believe this one came in all the racing car line too. I think you could get it as a single as well. I don't think this is exclusive. But I'll be honest with you, it's kind of hard to follow Majorette because it's not like we see them on the peg here in the US. But this one looks really, really good. I like the print on the wheels. It just says Majorette. Of course, all done up in Nismo GT3 colors. That guy looks really, really good. This is our Mack Granite. This is a brand spanking new casting for 2023. The details on the front look insane. That is an added on chrome piece there on the top. This particular one is in matte black. This will have dump beds on the back, box beds on the back, bunch of other stuff like that. They'll have all the regular attachments for it available. And then just chrome tanks and stuff like that, chrome stacks. There is the base deets. Of course, made in Thailand. That looks extremely good. Does have a tow hitch on there. Now this is the trailer. And there is a plastic piece in the trailer. Not really sure how they expect you to get that out. You can see there is a plastic piece in there to keep the car from moving through, but oh, there we go. Just like Hot Wheels does. Put that piece of plastic in there to keep the car from folding in. So this is our trailer. The base is all metal. It's all metal except for this plaque that holds on the wheels. It's kind of an interesting setup here. They are not full axles. They are only partial axles on each side. They don't cover all the way to the other side. So there's little pins in there that hold the axle itself. You see it is snapped in here. And then, of course, there is the base or the back there with the ramp. That looks really, really good. The ramp actually folds into little notches in there. Very nice and flush. It's actually very, very, very nice. Of course, the rest of the plastic or the rest of the trailer is all plastic. And then, of course, as typical fashion with Majorette, things that are hooked up tend to chip. So the hitch has already got a chip on it. This is pretty cool. As you saw, I can put my finger in there, so that goes all the way into the trailer. The trailer is hollow for some reason. And there's a hole here on the top. Inside the trailer, there's a hole. I'm not sure what that hole's for, but I'm assuming that this trailer is going to be used for maybe some playset stuff and whatnot. So as far as hooking it up to the truck, it pulls flat. You see both axles move, which looks fantastic. It is enormous compared to the size of the truck. Makes the truck look super, super small. Drive your Nismo into there. And I am happy to report that it perfectly fits in there completely. And then, of course, you can drive around with the trailer. Of course, the trailer is all nice and wide to hold anything you want, which is actually kind of cool. So there you go. There is some Majorette. Do have a couple more things coming. They'll kind of sit in their own videos. Apologize about the lighting. Kind of an interesting video. Typically not something that I struggle with in the video, so I do apologize. And I appreciate you for sticking in there with me. So let me know about these Majorette. Let me know what you think about those. Let me know if you guys are as frustrated I am that we're never going to get Majorette in the U.S. It's just never going to happen. And for those of you who say, oh, yeah, well, they sell it at Target and stuff. It's like there's a peg of things that we get one assortment of. Or we get the Porsche pack. That's it. That's all we get. So we don't get Majorette in the U.S. So if we ever do, maybe I won't have any trade hauls, but we'll see what happens. I love it anyways. Super happy. We're going to catch you next time. Level them, Diecast. Peace.